All right, guys. So we have a presentation ready, but more than a presentation, we'd love to just have a conversation with you guys, because sometimes we have ideas and what we think is valuable, and maybe you guys need something else. So we'll take this discussion wherever you guys want to take it. So before we get started, we just want to get an idea of like who's in the room. Shauna told us a little bit about it, but so how many of you actually already have a business that is somewhat started or already started? That it's, yeah, so like 4 of you making money already, or just kind of like pre-money, some making money? No, not yet. Some, like maybe 2 or 3. Cool. How many of you actually want to start something in the future yourselves? Who doesn't want to start something in the future? No one? So then the rest should have raised their hands, right? Cool. So there's two topics that we want to address. First of all is we want to address a little bit about Kickstarter and how to launch a successful Kickstarter campaign, crowdfunding. We thought you guys might like that. Yeah or no? Yes or no? Yeah? Let's do it. And then number 2 is we want to teach you something that we've learned pretty recently that is called growth hacking. You guys heard of growth hacking before? No? Cool. So we're going to be talking a lot about that as well. On growth hacking is basically a term that is starting to get used more often in marketing. That is basically, how do you make your users become your marketing firm, right? So if you have like 100 users for your business, how do you make them go and tell everyone about your startup? And so through growth hacking, for this new tool that we built, we got close to 200,000 signups in less than 2 months for this tool using growth hacking. And our budget was $180. So we're going to talk a little about that, but before, I'm going to give the time to Jeff, who's going to address a little about Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general.
All right. Yeah, my name's Jeff Schwarting. Daniel and I are partners in the business, and we co-taught the class at BYU on crowdfunding. So we've done a lot of that stuff. Has anyone here launched a Kickstarter project or Indiegogo? You have? Anyone else? How'd it go?
Well, we didn't
Decent.
fund, but it was a first good project, and we set our goal kind of high.
Cool. All right, cool. If you guys have questions, just raise your hands and interrupt me. So anyone interested in launching a crowdfunding campaign in the nearest future? Okay, cool. So if you're not familiar with Kickstarter, here's what it is. Whoa. Oh, cool. So Kickstarter is a website that lets you post what they call projects, and a project is basically anything that needs money to get done. So if you want to build, for example, a cooler, that's a project, right? So you get on Kickstarter and you say, hey, I've designed this awesome cooler, and I need money to make. He needs $50,000. This right here is his goal, $50,000 goal to make the molds or whatever to make the product, right? Could be a cooler, it could be a dance production. Veronica Mars, the Veronica Mars movie was funded on Kickstarter. The Zach Braff movie, like, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens there. And the amazing thing about Kickstarter is that it is the perfect application of lean startup principles, because you're literally selling a product before it exists. So this guy sold $13 million worth of coolers that didn't exist. Like, he made one of them, but he didn't have $13 million worth of inventory. So this allows you to limit your risk as an entrepreneur, which you always want to do. So this means that you don't need to, he doesn't need to produce, the alternative method, or what he maybe would have had to do prior to Kickstarter existing, is just produce like 1,000 of these coolers, right? And then try to sell them to Walmart or whatever, and then they get on the shelves in Walmart, and then you really see whether or not people are going to buy them. So by that point, you've already invested at least $50,000 in this project, and you're in it really deep by the time you find out whether or not people want to buy this thing that you've created. But instead, with Kickstarter, you make one video, one product. You're in it maybe, depending on the project, he's maybe in this like a few $100s. And he not only does he make a bunch of money, but he knows that there's demand for this product. So it's amazing. This is a project that we're running right now. We have 8 days to go. And this is one that, the risk on this would have been lower, but we needed $1,500 worth of orders because we had to order like 1,000 of these things as a minimum order quantity. And so we put it on Kickstarter. We only made one. So this project cost us $24 to do. and now we're at a little over $20,000. So that's why Kickstarter is amazing, right? You sell a thing before it even exists. And then in a couple weeks, all this money will be deposited to our bank account, and then we'll order the products and then ship them out. So the financial risk for us is like almost zero in reality. And the upside financial risk is unlimited. So it's amazing. So any questions about Kickstarter in general, how it works, what it is, et cetera? Okay, cool. Oh, yeah.
What's the percentage that goes to Kickstarter?
It's roughly 10%, 5% to Kickstarter, and then 5% to the payment service. It winds up being like 8 to 10%, but it's kind of steep, but it's worth it. On this project, $15,000 has come from our efforts, and $5,000 has come from just the Kickstarter community. There are a lot of people that are just like on Kickstarter all the time, checking out cool new stuff. So even though we're going to pay them $2,000 at the end of this, they gave us an additional $5,000 that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So in most cases, it winds up being a positive to use Kickstarter. So a couple things that make a Kickstarter campaign successful. Number one is Kickstarter is not a funding platform. Even though they say they are, they want to be perceived as like this magical funding platform where people just give you money to, accomplish your dreams, but it's really not. It's just a sales platform. And you'll notice that most of the campaigns that do well are selling a thing, and they approach it as a sale, right? So like the cooler, the guy's just selling the cooler. Sure, he needs $50,000 to make it, but as individual consumers come to Kickstarter and look at that campaign, they're not thinking, oh man, I need to give this guy 50 grand so he can make the molds. All they're thinking is, do I want that cooler? How much is it? It's $100, looks cool. Yeah, I'll give him $100 because I want the cooler. So if you approach Kickstarter campaigns with that frame of reference, that you're just straight up selling things to people, then you'll do a lot better than the people who try to just ask for money. And there are plenty of those campaigns as well. They're usually at the bottom of the popularity lists on Kickstarter, but you can find them and go through them, and you can tell a difference. There's a lot more. There's a lot less value given to the person giving them money typically. Did you have something from this? No. Okay. So that said, because you're selling a product, one thing that really helps on Kickstarter to do well is having amazing imagery, static images, so like pictures, not necessarily video, but the pictures. An example from this is from our current project, the Goal Board. We were featured by Fast Company, their design site, Fast Company Design. And, oh yeah, we'll just pull it up. So on Fast Company, this is the post that they wrote. This is like the blog post. And you'll notice that the majority of the post is just images, right? You don't even realize that there's text for a while, but there is. So they actually wrote an article as well. But the majority of the content that they posted was images. And also, on their homepage, on the Fast Company homepage, every day there's one blog post that they choose to feature at the top. It just sits there as a banner on their homepage while other posts come in. And so like that. So we were lucky enough with the Goal Board to be featured as their big banner post. And you'll notice the only thing they're posting really is an image of the product or whatever it is. So if you have bad imagery, this isn't going to happen, right? Because Fast Company is not willing to degrade the quality of their blog to feature some hideous project that you think is amazing. So you got to have A-game images if you want to do well and if you want to get picked up by media. And this isn't true though of video. So you want to address that?
Yeah. Right. So video is not as important, and the reason why is because no one in the media actually reposts your video, and the people that repost your video are tiny, so they don't really matter, right? But again, Fast Company, huge, on Crate, you see everything they post is big media outlets. They never repost your video. So right here is a perfect example. You probably won't be able to hear, but
Hi,
there you go.
my name is Amber, and I'll introduce you to my precision dice. I had a test batch made here at a local.
There you go. So it's a girl that wanted to create dices, and she's probably on a webcam right now. And even though she has a kind of crappy video, to be honest, it's $153,000 of pre-orders, right? So you guys can do that. Right? If you guys have a computer, just turn it on right now and just record a video and put it up, and that's it, right? So video doesn't matter as much. But if you have a really pure capitalist mentality, when you go to Kickstarter, your chance of being successfully funded is much higher, right? Does that make sense? So pictures matter a ton. Videos don't matter as much, at least on Kickstarter demographic. Any questions? Anything you guys want to learn about Kickstarter? Anything else? Yeah.
I'm curious, you guys create like a press kit release for each product that you guys do? So when Fast Company approaches you or other people, you have something ready for them?
Yes. So we actually, when you do it, you kind of want to approach media, because if you just kind of sit around, they might approach you, but chances they're never going to do that. So you just need to be very proactive in reaching out to them. So there's a lot of articles out there. If you just Google how to write a good press release, and it'll just find a lot of good stuff. What we found is if you just keep your messaging short and you actually attach pictures, not attach them, but add them in your email, pictures of your product, then that typically that's it, right? So you say, hey, we just launched a Kickstarter project. Here's why it's awesome. Here's 3 screenshots. Let me know if you want me to send high resolution images to you. And that typically it's a great start for them to go.
Like with the media stuff, the marketing, you got to hustle hard though. So we, for the goal board project, emailed 380 people about the project, and 1 picked it up, which was Fast Company. So we emailed literally everyone at Mashable, everyone at TechCrunch, everyone at Fast Company, everyone at 10 different outlets, and 1 of them got back to us. And these people are just getting so many emails every day that you need to like overcome the volume that they're receiving with the volume that you're sending out. So you don't send 380 emails to one person, although you could, and it would probably work. I don't know. I haven't tried that. But you have to really work hard on the marketing end to get picked up.
Anything else? Questions about Kickstarter? Concerns? Yeah.
I'm not familiar at all. Well, how does like the whole backers thing work? Do they just donate X amount of money, or do they? How does that whole system work?
You set up what are called rewards on Kickstarter. So we'll tell you how Kickstarter works, and then we'll tell you what's like really happening. So on the right side there are things called rewards. So what Kickstarter wants you to believe is that this is like some magical funding campaign. These people are doing this amazing project, and they need funding. So you're going to be a donor to this project, and in exchange for that, the project owners are going to give you rewards for the donations. So you're going to give them $24, and in exchange for that like donation to the project, they're like, hey, thank you, we'll give you a copy of the CD when it comes out, or something like that. So that's kind of the Kickstarter approach to it. What's really happening though is you're selling a thing, and you just set a price. All right, so if you're going to make a CD, you're basically just saying the CD costs $24. So someone gives you $24, you give them a CD. So you can choose to put whatever kind of products you want in that reward section, and people do all kinds of crazy things. I mean, sometimes you'll have like 20 or 30 rewards per project. Our projects we've kept really simple, so in our case it's just you get the product. But some people will do like T-shirts or a hat with the logo on it or something like that. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Do you find there's a difference between what the people are giving out as far as how the success rate, or just the product, or like I've seen all T-shirts and like my beer, whatever.
We have some data. Do you want to go to the Prefundio blog?
Yeah.
We did a consulting project for someone that was doing a film on Kickstarter. And so we went through all the most successful film projects and looked at all their rewards and just figured out which ones made them the most money. And usually it's called, right? No, that's up higher. Here, we'll just look at the data.
And sorry, just along with that,
Yeah.
I've seen the ones that I looked at, they have caps, how many donations per amount of money. You find that like you should just put like unlimited, or I don't know how you do that. And then also you find more smaller values or more higher values, or whatever, or it totally depends on the product.
I think it totally depends on the product.
Do you try to stay around what the product is going to sell for?
Yeah.
Rewards?
Yeah. So you put up your own margins. Right? It's just you have to see this as you're putting your product in Walmart, right? So when you put it in Walmart, you have to say, well, here's my pricing, and I need to make X percentage in profit. So that's gonna be it, right? So people that set limited quantities because they really don't have the capabilities sometimes, right? They don't have the capabilities to actually deliver more than, for example, 1,000 units. And so because they don't want to get shot in the foot, right? They just put a cap to it.
So here's some data on your first question. So we looked at, 6 projects, I think. Veronica Mars, Wish I Was Here, the Spike Lee project. Basically, the top film ones. So the most pledged, this is a single reward. So within a project, there may be like 10 reward levels, but we did it per reward. Is this making sense? So these are all the rewards that the projects had, and then how much money each reward generated individually. So even though this reward is $1 million, the total project for Veronica Mars was like 3 or 5 million or something. So you'll notice that you can read the whole text up here. This is what their reward was. You receive everything listed above, which is, I think, this one. Yeah, so you get like everything, t-shirts, video, whatever. And then to kind of get an idea of what works and what doesn't, you can contrast that with the things that had $0, right? There's a big list at the bottom of things that no one pledged for. Most of them were for Spike Lee. And like these two $10,000 ones were, I can't remember. You could look it up. But he had just interesting stuff, like get a producer credit in the movie, or like come with me to a Lakers game or something. Things that are not things that you're gonna get, you know? Does that answer your question? Oh yeah. Yeah, because look at this list. $1 million from one reward is insanely high. And what it was is just a bunch of stuff. Like at this package, you get all the products basically. So you'd get a digital version of the movie, the t-shirt, PDF of the shooting script, regular updates, and then at this level, plus a physical DVD of the movie. So at that level, they're getting like a bunch of things.
That was the pledge for $50, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so they had a huge amount of backers there. Yes, ma'am.
And this is on pre-funding at your website. Is this particular information available publicly?
This is, yeah. So if you go to get to this info, if you want it, go to prefundia.com/blog. And then currently on the second page, there's a blog post called Film and Video Rewards for Early Supporters. And in here, if you just click on this spreadsheet, it'll take you to the Google Doc, which is publicly viewable. Yeah?
I have a question about once the project was put up. So something that confused me when I launched my campaign is I would see who backed the project and how much they pledged, but I didn't have any of their other information, like how to actually get what their reward to them. What's the process like after the project funds, basically fulfilling the order?
So
I've heard mixed things. I've heard that some people can do it in like 2 days, but I've also heard that it can be a nightmare.
yeah, it can be a nightmare. Depends on what you promise to give them, right? But basically the way it goes, the reason why Kickstarter is awesome is because you can go in there, just throw up an idea that you have, and if you have a physical prototype and it looks legit, even better, right? You put a video, put some pictures, and you put a goal, say I want to make $1,000 worth of this. And if you pass that goal, they're gonna dump all the money for you at the bank, right? So after the 30 days campaign is over, then you can send a survey to all the people that give money. So they don't give you all the information, Kickstarter doesn't, until and only if you're successfully funded, only if you reach your goal. If the goal's never hit, then none of the credit cards are charged. You're not obligated to perform. It's like if it never happened, right? But once it happens, once you reach your goal, then Kickstarter lets you send a survey to gather all the information you need for your customers, right? So you can get,
Kickstarter creates that survey.
you make it through Kickstarter. So you can say, oh, I need their shipping address, I need their email, I need their phone number, I need what size of t-shirt they need, things like that. Send a survey, and then people fill the survey, and then you have the information you need to do the fulfillment for your project. That makes sense. Cool. And so you can get in contact with them afterwards, but that only happens if you're successfully funded. But what you want to do is make manufacturing look very simple, because it could be a real nightmare. So make sure you do your planning beforehand. So cool. Any other questions on Kickstarter? If not, we're going to move into something that I think is even cooler. But anything else? Cool. Awesome. So roughly 2 months ago, we put up a site called springsled.com. What we tried to do is we were trying to build a project management tool that is very, very simple to use. So it just allows you to keep track of who has to do what in your team, and did they do it or not, and why not, and you can collaborate and see what needs to happen for a particular project or thing that you're doing with your team. So we built something, and we were struggling with getting users. We probably had like roughly 250 users back in a couple months ago. But we put up a website that looks very, very simple. And so we're gonna tell you exactly the process that we went through to get massive growth. And actually, before I even get there, what we did right here, we did in 2 months with $180. And if you would have used Google Ads to drive traffic to your website, it would have cost us roughly $3 million in Google Ad spend, and it would have taken us 37 months to see that results in traffic, right? So what we did in 2 months with $180 is insane, almost unheard of. Only a few companies in the world are doing it, like Dropbox, Robinhood, Mailbox did something like that. So it's kind of rare, but it could actually work for anyone here, I think. So the first step that we did is we put up a website, and we put a very, very simple, we're really bad at design, so we just put everything like black and white. And the only thing right here that's color is, besides our logo, is just the get early access button. And that's it. So we put up a website, and the way we did it is we use Weebly.com. Have you guys ever heard of Weebly? You can actually make a website, super easy way to make a website. You can make a website like in 10 minutes with Weebly.com. Yeah, we strongly recommend it. It's like
easier.
WordPress, but much simpler. You go Weebly.com, and you can literally replicate this website that we created in like less than 15 minutes. But there you go. So we put up a website. These images that we created right here, we used PowerPoint to create these images. So I think most of you, if not everyone here, should probably have PowerPoint in your computers. If you don't, the labs have it. And you can make images like that on PowerPoint. Super simple to make. So we spent probably just a couple hours putting a website. But the brilliance behind it is once people actually put their email address, this is what happens. So you put your email address, and it says, the next page says, hey, it tells you what number you are on the waiting list, how many people sign up, and it says, hey, you want to cut in line and get SpringSelect free for 12 months, right? So if you want to get access to a tool for 12 months and just getting instant access, then what you need to do is have 5 people to sign up via this unique URL that we created for them. That makes sense? So every email that is submitted, a unique URL is created, and this unique URL keeps track of who signed up under whose email. That makes sense? Cool. So then you share or you tweet, and this right here, this is it. This is probably like 90% of the reason why we're successful. So what you do is, when you have a landing page, let's say you have an idea, as you'll notice on our website, we didn't have any even pictures or screenshots of our tool. It was basically, here's what we think the idea is going to be. It's going to be a simple project management tool. It's going to be very visual, and it's going to be easy to use. That's it, right? We put up a website. We give people an incentive to share with 5 friends, and we got 200,000 users in 2 months. Does that make any sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you drive traffic to the website, the initial?
Great. That's awesome. So we've tried a lot of different things, right? Obviously, if you get picked up by TechCrunch or Mashable or something like that, it's going to be amazing, but you have no control over that. And especially if you haven't launched anything, then TechCrunch will never pick you up. Very, very, very rarely they will pick you up. But the 2 places that we found that it actually works amazingly for traffic, the first one is called betalist.com, and they feature coming soon startups. So you go in right here. So everything now that we create that it's new, first thing we do is we put up a website, and then we post it on betalist.com. And from betalist.com, consistently, we gotten at least like 150 to 250 signups come from this website every time that we post something in there. The only caveat is that you do have to pay if you want to get featured. They say, oh, this is free, yeah, but if you want to expedite it, you have to pay like, what was it, like 59 bucks? But if you don't expedite it, you'll never get featured, because they only feature the people that are paying. But that's it.
Is that part of your initial 180?
Yeah. Those 60 bucks are included in a 180 budget. So 60 bucks went to beta list. We got featured. We got roughly like 250 signups. The other place that worked well for us is this website called Product Hunt. And this is kind of newer. You guys heard of Product Hunt before? So they're a Y Combinator company. They just got like $6 million in funding. I don't know why. It seems kind of stupid, personally, but it works. So here's one of our tools right now. For example, today, you guys, if you voted, that'll be awesome. But they just feature, people just find stuff, they put it in there, and if they like it, people can just one-up it, and that's it, and be like, oh, this is awesome, and that's it. So people just post stuff that they think it's cool that they found, and people can upvote it. Those two websites that I just mentioned, BetaList and Product Hunt, brought us probably like high-end 300 emails of the first emails that we collected. And after that, Jeff and I just really ran out of ideas of what else to do. So from there, we really just stepped back and have done anything on marketing. BetaList and Product Hunt users brought the rest. So right now we're getting, for every one email that signs up, we get an additional like 420 emails from that one email that signs up, if that makes sense, which is a pretty high number. Yeah, and then Jeff. This is it. So I just put up a website and just give an incentive to share it, and that's it. There's something else that is emails, and I think you probably want to talk about that.
Emails?
Yeah, follow-up emails.
Oh, sure. So yeah, the system, I mean, the way we manage the emails is we have developers on our team, so we built this system from scratch. So the emails just go into our database, and then it tracks, who referred who and whatnot. But since we did this, a lot of people have asked to use the same system. So we packaged it all up, and you can use the same system that we used. It's a tool called Untorch. So untorch.com it's just like, it gives you one line of code, you embed it in your website, it generates the email form, and then it takes care of all the rest of the stuff. So it generates unique links for people, it keeps track of who's referring who, you can download the spreadsheet, etc. So if you're interested in doing what we did, untorch.com is
that open source?
this is not open source, no. But so some interesting things about how this grew. We had, as Daniel mentioned, like maybe 300 people sign up on the first day, and then that was it. We were totally out of ideas, and but the next day we had another 300 people sign up. We launched it on a Thursday, and then Saturday night somehow we were at 1,000 people that had signed up. By Monday morning we got to the office and 2,000 people had signed up. Then Thursday, I think it was Thursday of that next week, we hit 10,000 people, and then the next few days we started doing 10,000 people per day signing up, and we weren't doing anything. Daniel was just playing Unreal Tournament the whole time. I'm kidding. But so again, on the Prefundia blog, we wrote a big post about how all of this happened and what we did. This is kind of interesting to me. So this is a spreadsheet. This is a screenshot of a really big spreadsheet that shows the first 500 people that signed up. So each row is a new email address. And the orange indicates people that signed up with a referral link. So anything that's white up there is someone that just found our website through BetaList, and then the orange are people that found it because someone else shared it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. So you can see that for about the first 70 people, they all came in through BetaList, and then I think it was number 70, the first person signed up with a referral link. And then after that, it just that orange gets more and more dense over time. And then over the next few days, we ran the numbers, and when we were at about 150,000 signups, we calculated that 99.79% of those came through referrals. So as Daniel mentioned before, I just want to write this on the board because it's incredible to me. For every one person that we brought on day one, that email turned into, this was back when we had 150,000 signups, so it's higher now, but that email turned into 480 more people signing up without us doing anything. Because one person would sign up, they'd share it on Facebook, they'd get 2 people to sign up, one of them would share it on Facebook, they'd get 3 people to sign up, etc. Right? It just snowballs like crazy. And here's kind of an interesting post. This shows how it happened right here. So here is our traffic for the first 14 days. This is actually, even though it's on the bottom of this graph, this is pretty high traffic for a brand new site. We're at like 1,000 or 2 visitors per day down here. And then it gets higher, and then we hit this. So from our frame of reference, on this day, what it looked like to us was like this enormous spike, right, that just went through the ceiling. And then it came down the next day, and we were like, whoa, that was it, awesome, right? We got like a few thousand signups from this. We expect this to come down at some point, so I guess that was it. But then you go a few days and then it comes back up a little bit, higher, and then just like blows up again, right, out of nowhere. And so here's what was happening. Go to the next one. This is our traffic by city. Yes, by city. So what's happening here is for a referral system to really work, you need just massive scale on everything, because not everyone's going to share your link, but you need enough scale to hit the people that are going to share it and are going to share it with efficacy, because not everyone that shares it is actually going to be able to generate referrals. So on day one, we had some traffic in the US, and then during day one, it started picking up in wherever this is, the Philippines or Singapore, one of those two. And then it stays there, and then on this day, you can see Mexico starts taking off. And then it jumps over to either the Philippines or Malaysia, whichever one it wasn't hitting before. And then it jumps kind of back to Mexico, and the first one dies down, and then we're getting really big in Monterrey, Mexico. So at first it started in Mexico City, and then it jumps to Monterrey, Mexico. And then it kind of starts dying down back to Southeast Asia. And then Europe, I think that's Italy. And this is by day, right? So just out of nowhere, in one day, Italy just blows up, and Mexico completely dies. And then the next day, Portugal blows up, and Italy's totally dead. And then, you can see how it happens. And then we get Iceland and Russia. It's just like it's a weird phenomenon, the way this worked. But what's happening is, and here's the same thing. I'll just go through this quickly. This is scaled. There you go. So if you look at some of these graphs, you can see that here's Iceland. Traffic in Iceland, just nothing, right? Like 2 people per day for the first 10 days, and then out of nowhere, 4,500 visitors. And the reason this is happening is because we have countries or cities like Singapore that have kind of consistent traffic throughout. And so what's happening is, as these countries, there we go, as we pick up a lot of traffic in one city in a really population dense area, it's kind of like throwing off shrapnel into the rest of the world constantly. So you'll notice that the whole time we have some traffic in the US, some tiny dots. Can you guys see that? Not really? Is it better on this one?
I think it's a full screen.
You can't actually see the map.
You cannot?
Quite full screen.
Is that any better? Kinda?
The light's a little higher.
All right, well, here's like America's in there. Oh no, this is America. Whatever, you get the idea. So does that help? I can't see that either. Well, oh no, this is Europe. Here's America. Can you see these tiny dots? And this is Southeast Asia. So for example, I think this is Portugal. So as Portugal takes off and we have like thousands of visitors here, enough of those people are sharing it that it's just throwing off shrapnel into the United States, right? Because maybe I live in Portugal and I have like 6 friends in the US, so some of them see it, and it's throwing shrapnel just all over the place. And as soon as those pieces of shrapnel hit a node that's powerful enough, like someone that's got a really big blog that shares it, then it jumps to a new city. That makes sense? So because of this, for this to really work, you need to have like these areas of activity that are so huge that they're throwing off enough shrapnel to hit another node that's big enough to create another activity surge like this. Yeah.
Why Singapore and Mexico and Italy and not Utah?
Who knows?
This seems strange.
It does seem strange to us as well.
There's not even wood on the map of Utah.
Well, so an interesting thing about this is you'll notice they're like just little dots in the US the whole time. So as an aggregate total, our highest traffic source was the United States. Even though it never blows up, there's never a big surge of activity in the US. There's enough happening constantly that it wound up being.
That's where it's sending stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
So your website's 100% in English,
Yeah.
and you're getting all this traffic from all over the world.
Yeah. These are mostly English-speaking countries, or like areas where there are a lot of people that speak English. Yeah, Singapore, for example.
What were you even showing also?
Sorry, what?
What were you even showing off?
That people were sharing? So people were looking at this site that Daniel showed right here. This is all people knew. They'd sign up, they'd go to this page, and it would say, hey, here's your unique URL, share it to get the tool for free, and they would share that. So an interesting thing, the reason we're talking about high traffic and like high volume is you want to engineer a referral program to be insanely high volume. You want to eliminate as many barriers as possible. So here we don't require them to create a password. We don't ask for their name, their company, we ask for as little as we possibly can, right? Because with each new field you add, you're going to get a lower percentage of people that are signing up. And our conversion rate on this page is 42.5%. So roughly, half of everyone that hits this page actually signs up and then has a chance to share.
Was programming the referral thing hard? As in, like, you said it creates like a unique URL every time somebody shows up. How hard is it? Is that just pretty standard?
It could be a little bit tricky, but if you're the developer, smart developer, you can probably figure it out. But if you're like us two, that we're not developers, no, we do have developers in the team, but we don't know how to develop. That's what we built OnTorch, because you just grab one line of code and just put it on your website. If you use Weebly, there's one thing that says, embed code. You just add it and drop it on the site, copy paste that code, and that everything's built. So when you put your email address, it sends creates a unique URL. It sends you a page saying, hey, here's the reward if you share with 5 friends. It keeps track of it. You have your dashboard. And the other thing that is important with this is an email follow-up that we built for the referral system. So every time someone signed up, we would send them an email saying something like, oh, we love you. That's our email, yeah? We love you. Cut in line and get this free for 12 months by inviting 5 friends with this unique URL. So they have that unique URL always in their email in case they exit our website. And every time someone signed up, we said, hey, one person signed up, you have 4 more, keep sharing, 2 people sign up, keep sharing. So this email follow-ups has increased sharing by like 4 or 5 times than if you just send it once. So, if you're a developer, you'll probably figure it out. It'll probably take some time, but I have no idea what it would take because we're not developers.
Are you a developer?
No, not at all.
Yeah, in the back.
So the website that you showed us that you guys put up, you guys already have a product, correct? So this
Yes.
is after Kickstarter.
So in this case, we didn't do Kickstarter. So we done a lot of Kickstarter stuff, and for what we found, and even our experience has been, if it's a physical product, Kickstarter works really well, if people really want it. But if it's something web, like a web app, Kickstarter doesn't work as well. And so growth hacking works incredibly well for that end. So we didn't do a Kickstarter for that. We did have a product, but at this point, no one even knows what the product is or what it looks like. In fact, there's not even a place to log in from the site. And we do have a site. Here's our product, basically. So you can go in and put stuff in and be like, oh, I want Jeff to do this task, make $1 million on Tuesday. Oh, I want him to do it on a Thursday, actually, Like I want to do this part right here. So the tool already works, but when people sign up right here, they had no clue what it was or if it was even existent at that moment.
So people are just signing up, just like out of whatever assumptions that they pull from this information.
Yeah, so they go in, it's like, oh my gosh, it's simple, like I need it. So 1 out of 2 people sign up is like, yes, I need simple, I need visual, and I need easy, right? In reality, check this out, simple, the world's easiest project management tool. And then it's like easy again. So it's really the same messaging twice. But people really want easy stuff, I guess, right? So they sign up for everything. So now that we're tooled, now we're inviting them over and we're converting and making money off of it. Yeah.
So how many, these numbers are crazy. You said it was 5,000 users of the tool itself? Or how many people are actually using the tool that you created?
So right now we probably invited like 25 around that. Right now, people that we've invited that have signed up and that we invited to use the tool is like roughly 25,000 of them. And we still have like 170 something thousand that we haven't tapped into yet.
Okay.
That was mine. I was going to say, you have great numbers, but you've got 12 months before you make a penny on most of them, right? And what's going to be your retention rate on those once they're out of process?
So that's a great question. A lot of people, a lot of people see what we did and they make a few mistakes. One is they want to bury this process deep into their conversion funnel. So they want to put this like after someone has bought something on their website, which is a mistake because you're not going to, how many people are going to buy something? Like 100 people visit your site, 2 of them maybe are going to buy something, right? So out of those 2, in our case, 15% of people actually share it. So if you get 100 people to your site, 2 people buy it, no one's going to share it, right? Whereas in our case, we get 100 people to our site, 42 of them sign up, and 15 of them share, which brings in the next wave of people. So that's one mistake that people make. The second is assuming that they're going to be giving away too much value when it's really not true because in our case, at least, I think we have this here. Here we go. We have about, again, 15% of people actually refer, 15% of those that sign up actually refer anyone. And only 7.7, so 8% of people that sign up are earning their free stuff. So for every 100 people that sign up, you're only giving away free things to 8 of them. And in exchange for that, each one of those 8 people brought you at least 5 more into the tool, right? Because that's the requirement. So it's a lot of value that we're like giving away because each one of these licenses, software licenses that we're giving is worth $1,800. So everyone that gets 5 people to sign up gets $1,800 worth of free stuff. But the value that we get in exchange is also massive. So it's totally worth doing. I mean, if you had a physical product, you'd have to work out the numbers to make sure you weren't losing money on something like this. But there's a company called Harry's that make razors. So these guys are trying to take on like Gillette and the other one, whoever they are, forgot. Yeah, Bic, Schick, whatever, all that stuff. So it's a couple guys that started this razor company, and they did basically the same thing. So when they were first starting, they had a landing page that just said, we're going to be making razors soon, sign up here. And just a single, there it is. Harry's is coming, respecting the face in the wallet since like right now, and then sign up, right? So again, there are a lot of parallels between this and what we've done and what other successful referral programs have done. One of them being they have a really low barrier to entry, single sign-up form right here. And then once you sign up, they take you to a page that says, hey, share this and we'll give you free razors, or we'll give you like free, okay, so shaving cream, if you share it with 5 people, if you share it with 10 people, you get a razor. With 25 people, you get a shaving set. And 50 people, you get 1 year free blades. So they're giving away physical product, right? In our case, selling software, giving away software isn't expensive for us, really. Giving away real things can be expensive. But I mean, if you work out the numbers and figure out, just like work those percentages and see for each one person that you bring in, how many more people they bring to you, you know what I mean? You can identify the value of one email, then this can still work. And if someone is considering that, I would recommend giving away as much value as you possibly can. Like make it break even maybe, because the value you get back is enormous. And there's so much exponentiality to this referral system that you want massive, massive numbers. Because not only does it help with the referral program itself, but we had a guy write a whole blog post about SpringSled, and it was titled, "SpringSled is the most viral thing right now and nobody knows what it is." And he's like, I signed up, I don't know what it is. I shared it on Facebook and I have no idea what this thing is. So the thing is, he had been seeing SpringSled for like 2 days straight, just blowing up his Twitter feed, his Facebook, it was just everywhere. And so because of that, he signed up, someone that normally wouldn't have signed up. So not only are we getting more people to sign up through the referral program, but our conversion rates are higher because they're seeing it so often. Sorry, long answer to a simple question.
We have 2 minutes left. We have time for a couple more questions. Yeah.
Okay, so the cost is like $100 to start, but how much per person does it cost to keep life?
Oh, does it cost us?
Yeah.
How much does 1 year free cost us?
Like how much does each customer cost you to keep the site running?
Not the value of the actual, how much are you guys spending?
Oh, so I'll respond a couple of ways and tell me if I didn't respond to your question. But the cost for us, for example, to give a year free is like 2 cents. So we're giving, it's a lot of foregone revenue, but our actual cost coming out of our wallet is less than 2 cents per user for a whole year. right? And then the only thing is to send emails, we use the system. If you're a developer, you might think it's interesting, called Mandrill. But to send like 2,000 emails, it costs you like 10 cents or something like that, 5 cents. So every email that we send after people sign up, it costs us money, but it's really just a couple pennies. So overall, we'll probably spend for this list, again, the total cost for us for the whole list that we've gotten so far is $180 total.
That's including people using the product.
Yeah, in that sense, yeah. Question, someone else, yeah.
So the Kickstarter stuff was called, where it's the product and people are funding, is crowdfunding. What was the term that you used for this kind of stuff?
Growth hacking.
Growth hacking.
Yeah, which is basically, again, growth hacking is incentivizing your users to actually be in your marketing firm, right? If they have an incentive to share with their friends, and that incentive actually works, then that's it. You've done your job as a marketer. That's it. There's nothing else for you to do. Anyways, hopefully this is helpful. If you guys have any questions, we'll love to help. You can reach us out at hello@springsled.com or hello@untorch.com or Daniel@prefundia.com, Jeff@prefundia.com. Anything. Yeah, we'll put it on the whiteboard. But hopefully this was helpful for you guys.